Registrar Owens. Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, and scholars. It is a wonderful day at Philander Smith College as we turn another page in the 146-year history of our illustrious institution with this occasion, our 2023 Founders Day and Honors Convocation Ceremony. I am Dr. Shannon Clowney Johnson, and I have the privilege to serve as the Vice President for Academic Affairs and Chief Academic Officer here at the great Philander Smith College. In keeping with the formality of our ceremonies, we ask that you take a moment and please turn off or silence your cell phones and any other electronic devices. Now to begin, please join me in recognizing our President and Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Roderick L. Smothers Sr., along with our platform guests, faculty, staff, and student honorees. Thank you. You may be seated. Now, please join us as the Philander Smith College Collegiate Choir, under the direction of Director Stephen Hayes, leads us in the college hymn.
Philander Smith, oh how we love thy name. Your rich traditions brought to you much fame. Years of service you have grown to be. Place of wisdom, love, humility. Philander Smith, when we are far away from your great teachings, we will never stray. You give not give, none other ever give. A host of abundant life. Philander Smith, your high ideals will keep a Christian heart and love for truth we'll seek. We'll know the truth, and it shall make us free. Thy fruit shall grow through all eternity.
Once again, good morning. Indeed, Founders Day is always a day of celebratory reflection at Philander Smith College. On this occasion, we remember how, in 1877, members of the community gathered in the basement of Wesley Chapel United Methodist Church to establish Walden Seminary with the grand design to educate African American ministers who would go on to become faith leaders for newly enslaved people and their children. As an answer to the need to educate formerly enslaved persons and their children and provide an opportunity for formal education, teacher preparation was added as part of the curriculum. This is the genesis of Philander Smith College, earning its well-deserved reputation of serving as a lantern for the learning and training of ministers and teachers in the community. Some 146 years after that God-ordained founding, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. The forward movement has propelled the college from our original 2 majors to nearly 20 majors and 17 minors. Our ascension as an institution of higher learning now includes the reality of a vast number of new programs, including a certified nursing assistant training program to train future nursing professionals. Our expansion also includes a college that is offering on-the-ground education to incarcerated students at 2 correctional facilities in the state of Arkansas. Additionally, and with terrific pride and a lot of hard work, the college will begin offering its first graduate degree program, a master's in business administration, next month. As such, this is more than likely our last Founders Day and Honors Convocation as Philander Smith College. Family, that deserves applause. Family, we are on the rise, and we will soon become a newer version of our older self. Philander Smith University is on the horizon. So on this Founders Day, oh, you can apply for that too. Change is good. On this Founders Day, we continue to salute Philander Smith's history of excellence in teaching, service, and providing access to post-secondary education for traditionally and historically underserved populations. We also honor our tradition of social activism, strength, and most importantly, our heritage of faith, each of these which are a part of our timeless human values. Philander Smith College has stood the test of time and has proven herself to be a sacred place, a sacred space, which holds the promise of a greater future, the promise of new opportunities, and the promise of life-altering connections. It is why we are gathered here today to mark these momentous milestones and to herald the success of our mission in the honoring of the academic achievement of our scholars. Now, please join me in welcoming back the Philander Smith Collegiate Choir, who will lead us in the singing of the Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. And immediately afterward, Ms. Kashira Watson will come forward to offer our invocation. The remainder of the program will be followed as printed. Please stand if you are able.
Till earth and heaven ring. on, let us march on till victory is won. Slowly the road we trod into the chassis ride, built in the days when all was born as I, yet with the steady feet and not a weary soul, come to the place for which our fathers died. We have come, oh we have come over a way that with tears has been watered. Oh we have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out of the gloomy past, till now we stand at last where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. Lord of our wearies, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path, we pray. Blessed our feet, straight from the places our God when we met thee. Blessed our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native
You guys may be seated. Will you guys bow your heads and close your eyes and join me in prayer? Father God, I thank you for allowing us to be here, God. I thank you for all that you do for us, God. I thank you for allowing us to be where we are today. I thank you for the college degree that you allowed some to get and others to be working on, God. I thank you for 146 years of Philander Smith College. I thank you for all of the people that you bless, God. I ask that you continue to allow Philander to be a blessing in people's lives, God. God, I ask you to cover everybody in this room, God. God, be with them on their journey to get their degree, God. Help them in their career, God, and just be who you are, God. You're almighty, God. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen.
to Board Chair Esper and to President Smothers and Board of Trustees. The selection that we're about to sing, Striving After God, is based on a text by Michelangelo and is especially for our honorees, which states, "True art is made noble and religious by the mind producing it. For those who feel it, nothing makes the soul so religious and pure as the endeavor to create something perfect. For God is perfection, and whoever strives after perfection is striving after God."
True art is made noble and religious by the mind producing it. For those who feel it, nothing makes the soul so religious and pure as the endeavor to create something perfect. For God is perfection. For God is perfection. Perfection. For God is perfection. Whoever strives after perfection, strives after perfection, strives after perfection, strives after perfection, is striving, 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 is striving after God.
Good morning. My name is Jarmiah Swotes,
And I'm Emery Russell.
and we are part of the PSC Creatives. For our Founders Day, we are here to celebrate Philander Smith College.
And our 7 timeless values, which are respect for self,
Respect for others,
respect for PSC properties,
leadership,
scholarship,
spirituality,
and service, which were given to us by our president, Dr. Roderick L. Smothers.
and today we would like to celebrate them.
Respect for self. How can you expect people to respect you if you cannot respect yourself? If you cannot be yourself? Without consideration for oneself, it is impossible to be the truest version of you.
Respect for others. It helps us guide our manners. We might not share the same opinions with others, but we do need to be respectful of our peers, faculty, and alumni.
Respect for PSC properties. We know that we are walking in footprints made deep by our founders' confident strides, that we and the legacy of PSC would live on and on, so we should show all of our respect for our campus.
Leadership. We are here because we are prodigies of our past presidents, leaders, and alumni who nurtured us and will soon send us out to the world determined to change it for the better.
Scholarship. Education is the most powerful weapon, which can be used to change the world. A true scholar knows this and applies it to everyday situations, which keeps them grounded and well-rounded individuals.
Spirituality. I go to chapel every Thursday, which is like going to the gas station once a week to get refueled on my spirituality. I love the singing. I may not have the best singing voice, but I love getting my emotions out.
And lastly, service. No one can do everything, but everyone can do something. Being of service to others is what brings true happiness. These 7 timeless values are handed down to and meant to be respected by each new group of students that step foot on Philander Smith College campus.
Our job is to admire these values, just like the ones before us.
Let's keep the pride alive. Thank you and happy Founders Day.
Good morning. My name is Jason Muka. I am a senior honors student, double majoring in biology and chemistry, hailing from Plymouth, Michigan. I am also the current 2022 and 2023 HBCU White House Scholar representing Philander Smith College. It is my privilege and honor to introduce our speaker for today, and that is Dr. Terry L. Esper. Dr. Esper is an associate professor of logistics in the Department of Marketing and Logistics at The Ohio State University Fisher College of Business. He has enjoyed a long career in academia, previously serving on faculty as an endowed chair and as an executive director at the University of Arkansas, Sam M. Walton College of Business, the Walton College SCM Research Center, and the Tennessee Haslam College of Business. Dr. Esper also serves as an adjunct faculty content experience for several noted international higher ed programs. His expertise has taken him to the classroom in Verona, Italy, France, Panama, and Australia. Additionally, his award-winning research has been published in top-tier academic journals and industry publications. He also leverages his research to address pressing social issues, such as the safety of Black delivery workers and the equitability treatment of frontline operational employees, and regularly contributes his research-based insights to a number of respected media outlets. Dr. Esper is a vice board chair of the Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals. He also speaks at corporate events around the world and conducts executive-level sessions and workshops with a host of Fortune 500 companies. Dr. Esper serves on the board of American Marketing Association Foundation and is the board member of the South Central Province of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Most notably, he currently serves as the chair of the board at his alma mater, Philander Smith College. PSC Community of Scholars, please join me in welcoming our 2023 Founders Day and Honors Convocation speaker, a fellow Philanderian, Trustee Dr. Terry Esper.
Hey everyone, good morning. Good morning indeed. It is a good morning. It's been a tough week, so it's a good morning. It's been 146 years of legacy on this campus, and I am indeed honored to serve as your board chair as we go into the 146th year. And more importantly, as we celebrate what will most likely be, as Dr. Clowney Johnson indicated, another layer of our legacy as we celebrate going from Philander Smith College to Philander Smith University. 146 years of legacy. You know, it's interesting to stand here today. I'm most humbled by all the things that were stated. I've been so blessed. It's amazing to think because my very first time I ever did a talk was at this podium on this stage in August of 1991. And from that first talk that I've ever done, God has blessed me to see the world and to teach all over the world and to speak all over the world. There is indeed something about that 146 years of legacy. And I just stand here as just one element of the impact of dear OPSC. So I've got a lot of things I want to say today. Dr. Connie Johnson texted me and she said, hey, you know, the theme for today is still moving Philander forward. After 146 years, as we enter into 146, we are still moving Philander forward. Now, I think it is important to note that this idea of Philander forward, it sounds nice, President Smothers. It rolls off the tongue. It's a nice alliterative statement. But Philander forward is more than a tagline. It is more than a cliche. It's more than an axiom. It's more than a slogan. Philander forward is a shared responsibility. It is a shared responsibility that has been passed on from the likes of Dr. Donaldson and Dr. Carter to the likes of Dr. Esper to the likes of you. Philander forward is a shared responsibility because for 146 years and counting, Philander men and Philander women have accepted a baton, and we are running our respective component of a race. And it is an intergenerational race to move Philander forward. And then we pass the baton on to the next, and this is how Philander Smith moves forward in the process. I think it's also important as we talk about Philander forward that we pause and reflect on the fact that we are still here after 146 years. Because I think of the likes of Knoxville College in Knoxville, Tennessee. I think of the likes of Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia. Barbara Scotia College. These are all HBCUs that are currently struggling in their forward movement. Now, we stand in partnership with those HBCUs, and we pray that they return to the good old days of their viability. But I think it is important to note that HBCUs like Morris Brown and Knoxville College and Barbara Scotia, and there we even mentioned Bishop College, which closed, being here for 146 years of forward movement is not an easy thing to do. And you guys know it. There's an attack on HBCUs, like a real attack. So, of course, it was this conceptual attack of people discussing whether or not HBCUs are relevant. And all of us sit here today in this auditorium as the proof that we are. But more importantly, there is a physical attack on HBCUs. I mean, just the other day, if you missed it in the news, there was a young man arrested at outside of the campus of North Carolina A&T University. He had he was basically armed as if he was going to war. Several handguns, several rifles, I think it was a grenade, a machete, an axe, a bow, an arrow. I mean, he had every kind of weapon you could imagine. There is an attack on HBCUs. Oh, we had the bomb threat here. Was it a couple years ago? Last year. We had a bomb threat, right? There is an attack on HBCUs, yet and still, we stand strong, we stand high, we lift our heads, and we say, we are here, we are Philander Smith College, and we are moving forward. want to pause, Dr. Smothers, and really dissect this Philander Forward notion, the idea of Philander Forward. Yeah, I am a professor, so this is what we do. Because in order to truly connect to this movement, we've got to understand the essence of the movement, right? Because otherwise, if we don't really dig into the meaning of Philander Forward, we run the risk of this just becoming some little snazzy, phrase that has nebulous meaning and empty promise. So, to understand the Philander Forward movement, we have to understand two very important things. Move Philander forward how, and move Philander forward to what? Okay. Move Philander forward how, and move Philander forward to what? So how is it that we move Philander forward? Well, first of all, we need to understand that Philander Forward is a we thing. The operative word is we. We are moving Philander forward. Now, we have a fantastic president in Dr. Smothers. Good morning, sir. On this campus, we have some of the most dedicated and selfless faculty, staff, and administration in the game. I know that. We recognize that. I'm a professor myself. I get that. We have a fantastic board of trustees. All of my fellow board members. The board chair is one of the best in the game. But the reason I acknowledge these fantastic group of people is because this is the group of people that typically we immediately think of when we think of the notion of moving Philander forward. That moving Philander forward rests on the shoulders of President Smothers, or maybe moving Philander forward rests on the shoulders of our board of trustees, or Dr. saying moving Philander forward rests on your shoulders and the rest of our fantastic faculty, staff, and administration on this campus. But the reality is that moving Philander forward is a we thing. All of us, all Philander men and Philander women are responsible for moving Philander forward. Now, if I was out there, I'd say all of us. Y'all get that? Okay, I speak a few different languages. One of them is the vernacular. All of us are responsible for collectively moving Philander forward. So the college moves forward to the extent that we move forward, because we are Philander. Let me extend on that a little bit. See, this is our campus, right? And this is our institution. But we, Philander men and women, we are Philander Smith. It's kind of like a glove. If you have a glove, like a glove is, an object, but the glove in and of itself will not move. Now, if you put your hand in the glove and you move your fingers, then the glove will move. So the question is the glove moving, or is it the hand moving in the glove that makes it appear that the glove is moving? So the question is, if we are Philander, we are the hand. This institution, this campus, these buildings, this is the glove. But this institution can only move forward to the extent that we move forward. Okay? The institution is the glove. We are the hand. So Philander moves forward only as we move forward. But move forward how? I'm glad you asked. Because moving forward is a part of our responsibility as Philander men and Philander women. And I can probably think of no better definition of how we move Philander forward as individuals than to go to our dear alma mater. The first stanza of our alma mater says, "Dear alma mater, tried and true, will win respect and love for you." Put a pin in that. We pledge our hearts to you each day, put a pin in that, to do our best at work and at play. Dear alma mater, tried and true, we'll win respect and love for you. We pledge our hearts to you each day to do our best at work and at play. So here's the deal. Philander moves forward as we move forward, and what this involves is that each day we must do our best at work and at play. And if we do our best at work and at play each day, then the result is we will win respect and love for the college. If we do our best at work and at play each day, we will then win respect and love for the college. And that is how Philander moves forward. So let me give you some examples of how this works. You know, as was indicated in the in my introduction, I'm totally humbled by it. I've had an opportunity to travel all around the world and speak around the world, and I don't take it lightly. But I will say that I have a personal mantra, and my mantra is that my presence should demand an explanation. So my charge to you, your presence should demand an explanation. I mean, when you arrive on the scene, folks should want to know, well, who is she? Where does she come from? Because she does her best and operates in such excellence that her presence demands an explanation. People should want to know, where did you come from? I can't tell you the number of times people have asked me, like, hey man, where did you come from? And of course, in the midst of that inquiry, now where did you go to college? And I say, Philander Smith College, Little Rock, Arkansas, Google it. That is how we move Philander forward. By doing our best at work and at play, we win respect and love for the college. Because I can't tell you how many people have come to me after something and they say, man, that Philander Smith College is, they're doing something down there. These are people who have never heard of PSC. But they say, because you operated in such excellence, you have now won my respect for that institution because of the way you have operated. And that is how we move Philander forward. Well, here's another example. I was having a conversation with President Smothers, and we were talking about gifts that were being given to HBCUs, and particularly Philander Smith. And we had a discussion about the fact that a lot of children of Philanderians who have never even stepped foot on this campus had an interest in giving money to this college because their parents did their best at work and at play. Their parents won respect and love for Philander Smith College in their children. And their children, as a result, out of the respect and love that they had for PSC, wanted to give back to PSC. And many of them had never probably stepped foot on this campus. That is how we move Philander forward. Here's another example. Harry Roberson, Dr. Harry Roberson, a distinguished alum of Philander Smith, did his best at work and at play. He did so much of his best that his nephew decided to fly from California to become a student here at Philander Smith back in the 90s. Dr. Robert Roberson, he just completed his doctorate, because he was inspired by his uncle doing his best. He won respect and love for Philander, became a Philander man, went on and graduated, and now has his doctorate. Met his wife on this campus. They have children, as in Robert Jr. I see you out there laughing. You don't understand. Well, stand up, Rob. Stand up, RJ. Right here today, being honored. It's my frat brother, too. Okay. If we win respect and love for the college, this is how we move Philander forward. We know what's interesting about the Harry Roberson story. I won't even stop there, because not only did Harry Roberson develop a love and respect for Philander in his family, and that led to the legacy of Robert Roberson, Kenyatta Roberson, his wife, their son now, RJ, here at Philander, but he also inspired a young man that he gave his first internship to, okay? Dr. William Picard. Dr. Picard is a big-time entrepreneur in my city, my hometown of Detroit, Michigan. In fact, I used to eat at Dr. Picard's McDonald's. He owned a chain of McDonald's. I used to eat at him, okay? Dr. Picard was so inspired by the life of Harry Roberson that when he found out that this is where Harry Roberson got his college degree, Dr. Picard gave money to Philander, came to Philander, engaged with students at Philander, and then we bestowed upon Dr. Picard an honorary doctorate. And this is a man that went to college in Michigan and Ohio, had never stepped foot on Philander's campus, but out of the love and respect that was won for this college by the likes of Harry Roberson because of his excellence, this is how we were able to move Philander forward relative to the gift that was given to this college by Dr. Picard. So Philander men and Philander women, I say to you that as we do our best, we move Philander forward by winning respect and love for this institution. Now, if I had time, I would probably dig into this idea of doing your best at work and at play. Because what I know for sure, and young Philander men and Philander women, I want you to catch on to this, the reality is that you can't do your best at work unless you're doing your best at play. Oh, let me tell you how this works. You see, when you do your best at work, okay, you then can afford and you earn the ability to step away and do your best at play. Okay? See, oftentimes we put so much emphasis on the work that we don't emphasize the play. Okay? There's not a trip that I take for work that my wife and I don't take an extra week to play. Okay? So when you do the excellence in your work, you then earn the ability to do your best at play. And as you do your best at play, you then are prepared to do the best at work. You see, so doing your best at work and at play is cyclical. You do your best at work, you do your best at play, which prepares you to do your best at work, which allows you to do your best at play, and you live your life that way. Furthermore, if I had time, I would probably talk about the fact that if the principle that if we do our best, we win respect and love for Philander, and that's how we move it forward. If that principle holds, then the inverse of that principle holds, which would mean that if we do our worst at work and at play, we will then win disrespect and hate for the college. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call moving Philander backward. I don't have time to get into that, but for my fellow Philander men and Philander women, just look at your neighbor and say, please don't move Philander backward. Please, do it for me. Do it for your boy, okay? So if you do your worst at work and at play, because you are a Philander man and a Philander woman, then you stand to move Philander backward by winning disrespect and hate towards this institution. But I'll move on. So that deals with number one, how do we move Philander forward? Now let's dig into number two, moving Philander forward to what? Now I want to come back to Dr. Stephen Hayes, the maestro. In the fall of 1991, I learned the words to striving after God. True art is made noble and religious by the mind producing it. For those who feel it, nothing makes a soul so religious and pure as the endeavor to create something perfect. For God is perfection. And those who are striving after perfection are striving after God. That was conducted or composed by Professor Undine Smith Moore. Many refer to her as the dean of Black female composers, a student of Fisk University, and on to Columbia University. She was a professor at Virginia State, and just an amazing composer who took the words of Michelangelo and compose that piece, Striving After God. And I really like the statement, for God is perfection. And therefore, those who are striving after perfection are striving after God. So I propose to you that as we think about moving Philander forward, and you might say, well, what do we move Philander forward to? We should be moving this institution toward perfection. Now, thank you. I'll take that. Now, I want to take issue with something when you start to talk about the word perfection, because you oftentimes hear people immediately say, well, nobody's perfect. We hear it all the time, don't we? We hear it all the time. Nobody's perfect. So I want to kind of dissect that and break that down a little bit, because I believe that the whole notion of nobody's perfect is often just an excuse that we use to sit in mediocrity. Right? I mean, isn't that what it is? Because Michelangelo himself said, God is perfection. Right? And he didn't make that up. Like Michelangelo was, he was inspired and was, of course, excellent, but he did not make that up. I mean, that's scriptural, right? Now, Bishop, I'm no preacher, okay? I'm not a preacher, but what I know for sure is that Matthew 5:48 says that our Heavenly Father is perfect, right? And then we could go over to Romans 12:2, which says that God's will is perfect. And we don't even have to stop there. We can go to Deuteronomy 32:4, which says that God's work is perfect. And then we could even, Reverend Millie, I'll go over to Job 37:16, which says that God's knowledge is perfect. So there is the case that God is perfect. And if you believe that God is somebody, then you should never fix your lips to ever again say, nobody is perfect.
All right.
But notice here that the song says striving, because it's not about being perfect, it's about striving to be perfect. Or, as my dear grandmother would say, who sent me to this institution on an $80 plane ticket, Lord, I'm running, trying to make 100. Because what? 99 and a half won't do. Now, I'm a professor at a university. 99 and a half is pretty good. Yet, it is in that other half point that makes the difference between 99 and a half and perfection. And the old folks will say, Lord, I'm still running, striving to make 100 because I can't give up at 99 and a half. That is striving for perfection. That is striving for perfection. Right on this campus, in this very building, in fact, over 30 years ago, Professor Lillian Ross taught me the importance of words and meaning. So when we talk about perfection, I'd like to maybe go to the dictionary. I looked it up, and perfection is the action or the process of improving until you are faultless or as faultless as possible. Perfection, the action or the process of improving something until that something is faultless or as faultless as possible. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that, my fellow board members, is what we should be moving Philander forward toward. Perfection, being an institution that we could stand up, that is improving as we go from 146 to 147 to 148. We are improving this institution as we turn the corner from Philander Smith College to Philander Smith University. We are improving upon the foundation that we stand on until this institution is as faultless as it can be. And of course, what we also know is that we can only move Philander forward as we move forward. I want to share one other thing with you. Also in this building or on this campus, when I was a student here some 30 years ago, I was a mathematics major. I studied under the likes of Dr. James, Dr. Jackson, who's in the building. Hey, Doc, I saw you. And one of the things that we were taught was this notion of mathematics and mathematical logic and the idea of an if-then statement. Like if one thing, then another, right? If it rains outside, then the ground will be wet. Okay, that's an if-then statement, right? If you lift weights, then you will gain muscle mass, right? I mean, if you pledge Kappa, then just put it out there. Y'all know the rest. You'll be dope, okay? But right in the middle of those, those if-then statements, I was taught about something called the inverse of an if-then statement, which means that if something, then something, well, then if not something, then if not something, right? It has to be true. That's mathematical. That's logic. And so Michelangelo told us that if you strive after perfection, then you are striving after God. And mathematically, that means that if you are not striving after perfection, then you are not striving after God. It's so good, I'm just going to leave it right there. Pause, ponder on that. Are you striving after perfection? My fellow Philander men and Philander women, I want you to ponder that. Are you striving after perfection, especially if you profess to be striving after God? Because if you're not striving after perfection, and we've built the case that God is perfection, right? So if you're striving after perfection, then you must be striving after God. That's mathematics, Dr. Jackson, I'm sorry. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we move Philander forward and where we should be moving Philander forward to. Over 146 years, this institution has stood and has moved forward, and it has not always been easy. There have been some tough days down through those 146 years. You see, we started right on the heels of the Emancipation Proclamation, where the former enslaved were so enamored with the idea of being perfected that they came to get something that was they were not entitled to, that they were denied, the idea of an education. And we came together and we created Walden Seminary, which then led to Philander Smith, which then down through the years gave us so many wonderful Philander men and women, the likes of Dr. Joycelyn Elders and Trustee Lottie Shackelford and Dr. Charles Donaldson and Dr. Sherman Tate. And then, of course, through the 90s, when we all were here, I say we as me and all of my fellow Philander men and women that I studied with, including my lovely wife who was here on the first row, who I met right over on that breezeway that used to stand on this campus. And we mentored each other and built each other through college. In fact, one of the first dates we had, if it was a date, I don't know, but I was we had a party, the Kappas. We had a party, and she came to the party, and I was studying because I was in the party studying, young brothers. I had my flashcards studying organic chemistry, and yet the party was bumping, and I was in the party, and the party was jumping, and I was studying, and she came up to me, and she said, well, I can help you study, and she helped me read off my flashcards, and I knew then, I was like, oh, yeah. Yes, sir. I lost track. Oh, I love my wife. We celebrate 25 years in May. That's how you move Philander forward. That's how we move Philander forward. So I'm gonna sit down, but I just hopefully something I said today resonated. Make sure that your presence demand an explanation. Win respect and love for this institution by doing your best at work and at play so that you could do your best at work and then back to doing your best at play and then run that cycle for the rest of your days. Realize that there is nothing wrong with striving after perfection. The notion that nobody's perfect is nothing more than an excuse to wallow in mediocrity. Get up and strive for perfection. because it's your responsibility to strive after perfection, especially if you're someone who proclaims that you are striving after God. And last but not least, the notion of moving Philander forward is never something that you can put down. It is a part of who you are as a Philander man and a Philander woman. Because as our alma mater so eloquently states, will always be a part of you, dear PSC. God bless you all. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'm grateful for all of the things you've done. You've done for me. You've been faithful and merciful. For my sins you forgave me. Hallelujah. I will sing to you and all the glory I will give to you, and I can never praise you enough. So I am grateful for the things you've done. You've done for me. For you've been faithful and you've been merciful. For my sins, you forgave me. Hallelujah. I will sing to you and all the glory I will give to you, and I can never praise you enough. Everybody say, oh.
to me.
Yeah, Lord, yeah. You've been so good. We'll say, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah. We'll say, hallelujah. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. What a perfect segue this morning. First from Dr. Esper talking about moving us forward, and then our choir blessing us with being grateful. And I am grateful this morning because were it not for the perfection of those who died and strived to keep our historically Black colleges alive, a young hood girl such as myself would have never been able to become Dr. Hall. So I thank God for the dream that was kept alive for our historically Black colleges and universities. With that being said, this morning I welcome you, and I am setting the tone for the next phase of our celebration, our honors convocation ceremony. Would the candidates eligible for Alpha Kappa Mu please stand? Scholars, you have done a remarkable achievement, and we applaud you this morning and hope that you continue to move forward in excellence. You may be seated. Everyone, my name is Dr. Carolyn Hall, and I am the Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs and Student Success here at the Philander Smith College. I offer you my sincere congratulations on being invited to join the prestigious Alpha Kappa Mu Honor Society. Alpha Kappa Mu is a general scholarship honor society open to junior and senior men and women in all academic areas who meet the requirements of the society. It was founded at Tennessee A&I State College, now known as Tennessee State University, my alma mater,
in Nashville in 1937. Alpha Kappa Mu was admitted to membership in the Association of College Honor Societies in 1952 and now has over 92,000 members and 67 active chapters nationwide. The purpose of Alpha Kappa Mu is to promote high scholarship, to encourage sincere and zealous endeavors in all fields of knowledge and service, to cultivate a high order of personal living, and to develop an appreciation for scholarship and scholarly endeavor in others. Since its inception, Alpha Kappa Mu has grown in size, in scope, and in its influence upon the academic excellence of American college and university students. Alpha Kappa Mu seeks and welcomes the superior college student with a serious purpose in general fields on all campuses, regardless of color, religion, or national origin. If you want to accept this invitation and join this prestigious organization, please contact the Philander Smith advisor for Pi Sigma Kappa chapter of Alpha Kappa Mu following this ceremony, and that is I. You can contact me. Again, we congratulate you on this invitation and hope you will join this prestigious society. Now I welcome to the stage Dr. Lloyd Sane.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Lloyd Sane Jr., and I'm the Faculty Senate President and an Assistant Professor of Education. We will now have our presentation of honors. Many of our students are being recognized today not only for making the honors list and the dean's list, but also for achieving high enough grades to make the president's list. We are also elated by the number of students who have also achieved a 4.0 grade point average. Perfect. As each student name is called, we will also announce the academic honors that they are being awarded. Students with perfect 4.0 grade point averages will also receive a special medallion, which we would ask that you wear at commencement as a reflection of your achievement. Honor students, please rise and approach the stage. Our president, Dr. Roderick L. Smothers Sr., and trustee Dr. Esper will receive the honorees now. Honorees, please rise and approach the stage.
Robert Preacher, Spring 2022 Dean's List. Leela Collier, Spring 22 Dean's List. DeMarcus Murphy, Fall 2022 Honors List. Brooke Nevels, Spring 2022 Honors List. Alex Hardy, Fall 2022 Honors List. Israel McClendon, spring 2022, 4.0, fall 2022, 4.0. Megan Taylor, spring 2022, Dean's List, fall 2022, Dean's List, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiate. Justin Woods, spring 2022, Dean's List, fall 2022, Honors List, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiate. Serenity Clark, fall 2022, President's List, spring 2022, Honors List. Mia Butler, fall 2022, Honors List. Brianna Buford, fall 2022, Honors List. Samaya Turner, spring 2022, President's List, fall 2022, Dean's List. Javita Sims, spring 2022, President's List, fall 2022, Honors List. William Givens, spring 2022, 4.0, fall 2022, 4.0. Sanaya Wooder, fall 2022, Honors List. Marjay Hampton, fall 2022, President's List. Miracle Jackson, fall 2022, 4.0 list, spring 2022, President's List. Stevie Stewart, spring 2022, 4.0 list, fall 2022, 4.0 list. Hismania Ferdinand, fall 2022, President's List. Bianca Brown, spring 2022, President's List. Jordan Johnson, spring 2022, President's List, fall 2022, 4.0 list. Antonisha Wade, fall 2022, President's List, spring 2022, Dean's List, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative. Dylan Chan, fall 2022, Dean's List. Elizabeth Escalante, fall 2022, Honors List. Aaron Johnson, fall 2022, Honors List. Jose Berrios, fall 2022, 4.0 list. Contavious Gibbs, Fall 2022 President's List. Travis Greer, Fall 2022 Honors List. Andy Barris, Fall 2022 Dean's List. Destiny Edwards Thrower, Fall 2022 Dean's List. Deshaun Studway, Fall 2022 4.0 list, Spring 2022 Honors List. Tavion Rogers, Spring 2022 Honors List. Nasheer Robinson, Fall 2022 4.0 list, Spring 2022 Honors List, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative. Karan Manuel, Spring 2022 Honors List, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative. Robert Robertson, Spring 2022 Dean's List, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative. Robert Robertson, Spring 2022 Dean's List, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative. Latanya Smith, Fall 2022 Dean's List. Anaya Joplin, Spring 2022 4.0 Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative. Jada Meeks, Spring 2022 Honors List, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative. Brianne Bain, Fall 2022 President's List. Michael Prescott, Fall 2022 President's List. Sarah Izagu, Fall 2022 President's List. Ruth Mbulu, Fall 2022 President's List, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative. Sydney Simon, Fall 2022 Dean's List, Spring 2022 Honors List. Jalecia Williams, Spring 2022 Dean's List. Nolan Butler, Fall 2022 Honors List. Tashandra Webb, Spring 2022 Dean's List, Fall 2022 Honors List. Vladana Radovich, Spring 2022 Dean's List, Fall 2022 President's List. Larissa Richard, Fall 2022 President's List. DeCarlos Nora Jr., Fall 2022 4.0 List. Anaya McClendon, Spring 2022 President's List, Fall 2022 Honors List. Eric Kendrick, Spring 2022 Honors List. Brianna Lewis, Fall 2022 4.0 Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative, Spring 2022 President's List. Destiny Lawson, Spring 2022 Honors List. Margia Jackson, Spring 2022 Honors List. Dante Skates, Spring 2022 Honors List. Erica Green, Fall 2022 4.0 List. Xavier White, Fall 2022 President's List, Spring 2022 Honors List. Xavier White, Fall 2022 President's List, Spring 2022 Honors List. Aiden Deal, Fall 2022 4.0 List. Ashton Cartwright, Fall 2022 4.0 List. Trent Colebrook, Fall 2022 4.0 List. Naaman Bandelier, Fall 2022 4.0 List. Talia Johnson, Fall 2022 Honors List. Alana Wright, Fall 2022 Honors List. Alexis Velasquez, Fall 2022 President's List, Spring 2022 Dean's List. Kina Abuba. Fall 2022 President's List. Vanessa Abuba. Spring 2022 4.0 list, Fall 2022 President's List. She Dada, Fall 2022 President's List, Spring 2022 Dean's List. Chinwe Uwola, Spring 2022 President's List, Fall 2022 Dean's List. Zainab Badamosa, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Salasi Ayomi, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Pearl Wogu, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Peace Agazi, Spring 2022 President's List, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Precious Agazi, Fall 2022 4.0 list, Spring 2022 President's List. Sage Petrie, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Amelia Ayama, Spring 2022 4.0 list. Sophia Awoni, Spring 2022 4.0 list, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Jakayla Miller, Fall 2022 President's List. Zaria Wynn, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Savannah Wallace, Fall 2022 Dean's List. Caden Williams, Fall 2022 President's List. Zalika Hertz, Fall 2022 Dean's List. Layla Merrill, Fall 2022 Dean's List. Janeria Gibson, Fall 2022 President's List. Emanuela Umorin, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Chance Eaton, Spring 2022 President's List, Fall 2022 President's List. Tyron Scott, Spring 2022 Dean's List. Jayla Knight, Fall 2022 Dean's List. Al Hassan El Amin, Spring 2022 Dean's List, Fall 2022 President's List. Xavier Chapman, Spring 2022 4.0 list, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Amari Brantley, Fall 2022 4.0 list, Spring 2022 Dean's List, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative. Kendrick Wright, Fall 2022 Dean's List. Adele Sims, Fall 2022 President's List. Treasure Wilson, Fall 2022 President's List. Sordani Egby, Fall 2022 Dean's List. DeAndre Barrett, Fall 2022 Dean's List. Uluwafi Kunanye Yomi Shabondi, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Reagan Parker, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Mariah Grace, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Jordan White, Spring 2022 President's List. Asia Stewart, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Carla Schuler, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative. Oh, I got it. Salvador Mendiola, Spring 2022 4.0 list, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Rachel Flynn Butler, Fall 2022 Dean's List. Jalen Reiser, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Alex Owsley, Spring 2022 President's List, Fall 2022 Honors List. Jason Muka, Spring 2022 4.0 list, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Kingsley Oparu Uko, Spring 2022 4.0 list, Fall 2022 President's List. Adeolua James Owolabi, Fall 2022 4.0 list, Spring 2022 President's List. Otito Ude Debord, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Delante Osborne, Spring 2022 4.0 list, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Latika Merrill, Spring 2022 Honors List. Augustine Izerim, Spring 2022 4.0 list, Fall 2022 Dean's List, Alpha Kappa Mu Initiative. Rayon Johnson, Fall 2022 President's List. Darylyn Miller, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Janique Lundy, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Micah Kia Fernando, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Brazier East, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Sam Davis Omekara, Spring 2022 4.0 list, Fall 2022 4.0 list. Chagoze Nwampa, Fall 2022 President's List. Spring 2022 Honors List. Percy Burrows, Fall 2022 Honors List, Spring 2022 Honors List. Emory Davis, Spring 2022 4.0 List, Fall 2022 Dean's List.
Brothers and sisters, it gives us great joy and pleasure to welcome the 14th President of Philander Smith College, Dr. Roderick L. Smothers.
Thank you, Reverend Yao, and thank you to everyone. Good afternoon. Well, it's still morning. I'm about 3 minutes away from the afternoon. This is indeed the day that the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. We have had a wonderful ceremony this evening, or this afternoon, or this morning. I'm still getting myself together here. Founders Day and Honors Convocation. I'm so incredibly honored to share this combined occasion, and as a point of privilege, I do have, as I always do, a few people who I need to recognize today. First, let me say thank you to our Chair of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Terry Esper, a fine member of the Philander Smith College alumni contingent, as well as a member of the Ohio State University faculty. What we didn't mention is that he is also a living legend. Was inducted into the Living Legends group last year, and we thank you today, Dr. Esper, for answering the call to speak for us. There are a few things that I can state with certainty and indeed fact about Dr. Esper. He loves his wife, Mishi. He loves their dogs. He loves Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, and without question, he loves Philander Smith College. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, again for giving us some guidance. You have certainly given me some nuggets to hold on to for the next year as we move into this 146th year. And indeed, Philander Forward is a we thing. We all have our role to play in this. And we thank you for putting your professorial hat on today and helping us to unpack our alma mater. Our students all know it, but I think that they know it in a different way today after listening to you. So let's give our board chair another round of applause. We certainly want to say thank you to our bishop, Bishop Merrill, for being with us today. Let's give her a hand. She was here with us in February during Religious Emphasis Week. She spoke for chapel. She attended her first Living Legends banquet. She participated in her first Board of Trustees meeting, and now she's here today for our joint Founders and Honors Day Convocation. We're so glad to have our bishop with us today. I'm going to also ask at this time that all of our members of the Board of Trustees will please stand and be recognized. Students and faculty and staff, let's give our members of the board a round of applause. Trustee Carter, Trustee Martin, Trustee Merrill, Trustee Bon Hobson, who came all the way over from Memphis, Trustee Dunn, Trustee Bradford Coleman, Trustee Lindsay, and no doubt the amazing Trustee Dr. Charles Donaldson. Thank you all for being here, and you've heard from our board chair, Trustee Terry Esper. Would members of our Alumni Association please stand? Members who are just alums, maybe you're not a member of the association and you want to become a member. Would all members of our alumni group please stand and be recognized today? All alums. Let's give them a round of applause. I want to also recognize the members of my executive cabinet with a special shout out today to Dr. Shannon Clowney Johnson and Reverend Ronnie Miller Yao, who is the Dean of Religious Life and Campus Culture. They put all this together today. And we especially want to say thank you to them for doing so. Thank you to the entire committee. Now, I want to ask this next group to stand. They are sitting over to my right in their beautiful regalia. They are the members of our faculty. They have poured into these honor students today, and I know that they were just as proud of you as I was as you walked across the stage today to be celebrated for your honors. Will all the members of our faculty please stand and be recognized? Students, let's give them a round of applause. Yes. Thank you to Dr. Sane and members of our faculty senate who work so closely with us to make sure that all things academic are done in the right way to produce the honor students that you've seen here today. Would the members of our staff also stand and be recognized? Any members of the staff who are here with us today, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for all that you do to serve and to provide the wraparound services that we need to promote excellence in this community. So what about our amazing Philander Smith College Collegiate Choir under the direction of Dr. Stephen Hayes? Thank you, Dr. Hayes, for all that you do and for making sure that we are represented. It's my understanding that you all were somewhere performing just yesterday. And so thank you for always representing. How about the PSC Creatives, the two representatives who came up and gave us the rendition about our timeless human values? Thank you so much. Thank you to Ms. Watson and Mr. Muka and the others who were represented on the program today. Now, to our honor scholars, congratulations to you for all of your hard work, your dedication, and your commitment, your excellence for boldly being the representatives and standard bearers for who we refer to when we say Philanderians. I want you to remember that your achievements today not only measure success, but they are your measure of success. They are important as we think about and talk about those timeless human values that our creatives talked about today: character, leadership, and service to our community. And finally, I want to say thank you to those who are responsible for our honor students today. And so will all parents, friends, aunts, uncles, grandparents, community members of support for these honor scholars, will you be so honored as to stand and let our students who will stand and give you a round of applause for all that you've done to get them here. Students, stand up and celebrate your family members. You are truly our VIPs here today, because were it not for you, our scholars would not be where they are today. It is actually fitting that we merge these two programs together today because they celebrate two significant points in the life and history of the college. One celebrates the founding of this great institution, 146 years. The other celebrates the academic achievements and excellence of our students. And so let's give Philander Smith College a round of applause. Mr. Chair, you pointed out that there is an attack on HBCUs. I want to say that there is an attack on Black education in general. And I want to acknowledge the fact that here at Philander Smith College, we continue to provide the opportunity for our students to show up and be authentically who they are and to celebrate their achievements and their successes in their respective fields of endeavor. And so thank you, Mr. Chair, again. Today we're celebrating 146 rich years of Philander Smith College. We honor the vision and the foresight of those who planted the seeds of our esteemed institution. And we honor the deep roots that we have, that we celebrate, Bishop, in being affiliated with the United Methodist Church. Indeed, it was through the church in the basement of Wesley Chapel that the fertile ground that produced the Philander Forward institution that you see today came into existence. And as we look back on the history of the college, we are reminded of the courage and the determination of those who sought to create a place of learning that would radically transform our world for the better. That is what our mission statement says, and that is what we have been attempting to live out here for our 146 years. Doing more than just establishing an institution, but establishing an institution where we produce graduates who are free, who are dignified, who are educated, and who have the courage to take on the racism and white supremacy and other forms of injustices that are facing us every day. That is who we are here at Philander Smith College. Yes, give us a round of applause. We celebrated our milestone 145th anniversary, and we did so in a grand fashion. We commemorated the institution through a number of events. But I close today by asking you, what does the future look like? 9 years ago, this is my 9th year as president here at Philander Smith College, we engaged on a big dream journey together. We were inspired by the words of Dr. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the first woman president of Liberia, who stated to this country after it had gone through its own version of an epidemic that was a result of the Ebola virus. She said to her people that I want you to dream really big for Liberia because we can overcome this together. And she said, I want you to dream so big that your dreams scare you when you dream them at night. We were bold enough to embrace that vision for Philander Smith College, and 9 years later, look at the progress that we have made. So what does 146, thank you. What does 146 look like? What does it entail for us? It entails momentum. It involves expansion, like with our new Elder School of Allied and Public Health. It involves our new CNA program. It is a trajectory for success that involves our first master's degree, our first MBA program, and we're in the process of selecting the first cohort for that program now. It involves a new dormitory that we will break ground on in just a few weeks here on the campus of Philander Smith College. It does involve the change that we have been referencing that will ultimately yield the transition from Philander Smith College to Philander Smith University. I'm excited about that, and I hope that you are excited as well. This room is filled with the minds, the hands, the ingenuity, the talents, and the gifts of those individuals who are going to lead us forward. And our board chair reminded us today that Philander Forward is more than just a catchphrase. It's more than just a buzzword, but it is now looking at Philander Forward how and Philander Forward to what? And that is your job. That is your responsibility. This mantra, this phrase is bigger than any of us sitting in this room together. But together, we collectively can accomplish the unthinkable. We can achieve the unimaginable, as Ellen Johnson Sirleaf said, but we can't do it if we don't do it together. And just like the distinguished alums who came before us, Jocelyn Elders, the Honorable Lottie Shackelford, Charles Donaldson, Terry Esper, Etta Carter, and all of those who you may know, you've had an opportunity to shake their hands, to reach out, to have a conversation with them. They endeavored to create an institution that was excellent. And now they have passed the baton to you, our honor students, and said to you, continue to move Philander forward. So let's affirm our commitment to moving forward, never doubting, never letting down, and never quitting. We owe this to our founders, and most importantly, we owe this to ourselves. May God bless and keep each and every one of you, and may God continue to give us the power, the strength, the endurance to move Philander forward. Thank you so very much, and congratulations again to our honor students.
At this time, we're going to invite Dr. Hayes to come lead us in the alma mater. We ask you all to stand at this time. Following the alma mater, I will give the benediction, and there is no recession. We ask the honor students to come immediately to the stage for our picture. Let us stand.
Dear alma mater, tried and true, we'll win respect and love for you. We pledge our hearts to you each day to do our best at work, at play. Dear PSC, when from your fold we'll lift the dear old green and gold. O'er alma mater vigil keep, her high ideals we'll strive to meet. When college days are at an end, our hearts will ever toward you bend. With loyalty we'll always be a part of you, dear PSC.
Let us assume the attitude of prayer. Gracious God, we are so grateful. So grateful for this institution, so grateful for her mission, so grateful, Father, that we have had an opportunity. We've been privileged by you for this institution to make a mark upon our lives. And so, Father, I pray your blessings upon this institution in the days to come. I pray your blessings upon our speaker as he has poured out unto us, Father. 99 and a half won't do. We got to keep striving. Help us to be found faithful. And as we leave from this place, but never from your sight, our prayer is always that you hold us and keep us until we're united again. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Ms. Bradford, are we ready for the coordination of the picture?
Bring the scholars up to the picture. We're not going to process all